Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of the Justin Time podcast. I am your host, Justin Chute, and I am very happy to be with you all today. And we're mainly going to talk about NBA basketball in today's episode, but don't get it twisted. This is a sports podcast. I love talking sports, and I'm here to be with you. In the future podcasts, we'll be able to talk about college football, NFL football, college basketball, but we'll dive into all those in future episodes. And today's episode will mainly be talking about NBA basketball, as there's a lot of news right now about that going on. A little bit about myself is my name is Justin Chute. I'm a 21-year-old, and I love to talk about sports. And a little bit about me is I am a huge San Antonio Spurs fan. I mean, as you can beat the shirt going right here, Spurs flag in the back. This is a poster of me from when I was in high school, varsity senior year. That was pretty fun. Yeah, huge San Antonio Spurs fan. I actually grew up in San Antonio, and most of my family live here in the San Antonio area, so I proudly rep the 210 in the Alamo City for sure. Along with that, I'm also a lifelong Texas Longhorns fan, so if you wanted to know like what college I rep and stuff like that, it's Hookah mainly for Division I sports, but I go to a D3 school myself, majoring in business administration, so hopefully, later down the line, I can work within sports. It really would be a dream of mine to work for the Spurs one day, but time will tell. God has plans for everybody. Along with that, I'll definitely be able to talk about Longhorns in the future. I love talking about the Longhorns, and as far as NFL football, I'm a big fan of the Dallas Cowboys, so you'll definitely get some Dallas Cowboys content later on in the future as well. But other than that, we'll talk about we'll get to all those eventually in the future. But in today's episode, it's mainly going to be about NBA basketball, as I said. But other than that, I love sports in general, and I actually played basketball my senior year back there. Short story, I was 5'7". I didn't really commit to basketball a whole lot, but I love to talk about it, and that's what I plan on doing here on this podcast. This is the Justin Time podcast with Justin Chute. And quick shout outs for today's sponsor is going to be John's Mounts and More. They do everything from TV mounting to surround sound. They can provide you any type of mount and conceal wires for a nice look. Contact them at 830-347-1486. That's 830-347-1486. Or you can visit their Facebook page at John's Mounts and Moors. Quick shout out towards What a Clean Solutions. What a Clean Solutions is a mobile and auto detailing along with carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout cleaning services available to you. Brandon and Jodeci are excellent and will get you right. You can hit them up at 210-790-1410 and get a quote/appointment book today, or you can visit them on their Facebook page at What a Clean Solutions. Let's dive right into this episode talking about my Spurs. And we just seem to be the talk of the league right now. Spurs just won a 2023 lottery. If you don't know what that is, the draft lottery is where all the worst teams in the league gather around, and the league doesn't, give the best picks of the draft to the worst teams all the time, because that will reward losing. So what they do is they do a lottery system where they spin the balls, and if you get lucky and your ball gets chosen, you get the number one pick, and that's how they set the lottery order and how you will, get to draft an upcoming draft. And this draft was pretty hyped up. You had a generational talent in Victor Wembanyama. It's always going to be like that. And excitingly so, we won the number one pick. It's been the first time since, I believe, 1997 when we got this man right here, Tim Duncan. And I don't know, I just kind of had this feeling all year long that we were going to get blessed with the number one pick. Hindsight, looking back at it, the trade and a year ago when the Spurs dealt away DeJounte Murray, that was pretty concerning. A lot of people, you're kind of going in towards the rebuild position. You get 3 first-round picks out of Murray, and it paid off. The losing paid off. We got number one, so we look to take Wemby this draft, and with Wemby we have a bunch of assets that we can look to make this team a little bit more better. I do believe we have the 33 pick in this year's draft, as long as another second in this year's draft. But other than this draft, just taking a look at future assets, The Spurs have the 2024 to 2030 that they have all of their first round picks. They have the Hawks first round picks in 2025 and 2027. They have the Hawks first round pick swap in 2026. They have the Hornets first round pick. It's protected in 24. They have the Raptors protected first in 2024. They have the Bulls protected first in 2025. Celtics protected first in 2028. And roughly 40 million in cap space. And that's all. I know it's a lot of information getting thrown at you, but all it means is the Spurs, they have options. They have options with what they want to do here. I think getting a guy like Wemby, we have Pop already still here. I think a lot of fans, a lot of media is going to be circling around San Antonio, suggestion ideas like, you should spend your cap space and compete right away. I lean more towards kind of what Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer and all of them were saying. He suggested, the Spurs looking to acquire a rim protecting big that can solidify the paint defense and stuff like that. And I agree. I think going after an interior defender is a must with a guy like Wemby. I think you want Wemby to be like that focal point of your offense and defense. And yeah, he can be that center and he can be that generational talent, but I think you don't want him to entirely limit his game to just that, So I think going after someone like Brook Lopez would be pretty enticing. But other than that, there's a lot of avenues that can go with this. They have money to spend. They got some guys that they can re-sign. They can re-sign Trey Jones. They can look to use that cap space to go ahead and re-sign Devin Vassell early on. But it's a great young roster. I mean, Jeremy Sohan was amazing for him last year. He made the All-Rookie second team. You have guys like Keldon Johnson and Vassell that hold it down for him. But it's a very exciting time to be a Spurs fan. I know I'm definitely excited about it. I have season tickets, and I'm looking forward to going to next year's games for sure. And that Wemby jersey will be ordered very soon, I'll tell you that. On to other stuff. Let's talk about the Nuggets defeating the Lakers in Game 1. So the Nuggets defeated the Lakers 132 to 126. Some key takeaways I took from that game were the Lakers need to do a better job of defending Jokic, man. Former two-time back-to-back MVP Nikola Jokic. He finished with 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists, 2 blocks, and 42 minutes of playing time. Anthony Davis was guarding Jokic man-to-man, was not working for the first 3 quarters of the game, and it was until the fourth where the Lakers started to put Rui Hachimura on on Jokic and prepare for the switches on defense. The Lakers need to utilize AD in the post where, he can be an effective rim protector and really make an impact defensively. You saw how well he was able to do the first 2 rounds of the playoffs whenever he was in the paint. You can just look at the last series in general versus the Warriors. The Warriors were never able to get any sort of success inside the paint as far as layups and driving to the rim. And without that, you're not going to do so good in the league. And so that's how the Warriors got bounced in the round last series. But for now, you got to look to not have AD on Jokic one-on-one. It just wasn't working in the first 3 quarters. They went away with that in the fourth. They ended up putting like Rui Hachimura, LeBron on Jokic, and what that would do is on a screen. Basically, you're just putting Anthony Davis on a different man. You want Anthony Davis in the post, playing help defense, hands up, blocking shots, being that dynamic interior presence that he is defensively. And I think if you take him out of the paint, then he becomes less and less valuable on defense. But, the Lakers showed some success in the fourth with that. They made a pretty good comeback. Anthony Davis finished with 40 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. That's a fantastic game. Just got to do a little bit better defensively against Jokic during the first 3 quarters. As far as the Nuggets, man, Jokic was a beast. Anything he wanted, he got. He was successful. I think you just got to continue to do that as far as adjusting to some sort of problems that happened. I think defensively, they were kind of weak against the Lakers. The Lakers were able to just attack Jamal Murray at will. And I think they're going to have to get a little bit creative in hiding him on defense and stuff like that. Maybe he's able to perform a little bit better than Game 1, but we'll see about that. But other than that, Jamal Murray was pretty effective last game too. He had 31 points, and entirely the Denver Nuggets team was just hitting their shots, and I think they finished the game with a 60% field goal percentage. It was just super impressive by the Nuggets. I'm sure the Lakers are looking to bounce back. The Nuggets are one of the best teams at home too. There's not too much to think about it. It's just Game 1. It should be a fun series. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of this goes, so we'll definitely have to tune back in and see how that goes. On to the Heat versus the Celtics. The Miami Heat defeated the Boston Celtics 123 to 116. Key takeaways from that game was Jimmy Butler. He had been extremely successful in the playoffs and was sensational last night. Butler finished with 35 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 steals in 43 minutes of action for the Miami Heat. For Boston, they had to do a better job defensively on Jimmy Butler. I mean, let's just talk about Jimmy Butler for a second. It's like when he gets into the playoffs, he turns into Michael Jordan or someone. Man gets on fire, he just doesn't stop. He does everything you want as far as winning. And he was extraordinary last night in the TD Garden. And winning a game in Boston is not hard to do. All credit goes out to him. But, I mean, for the Boston Celtics, you cannot afford the Heat to outshoot you from the 3-ball. They're missing Tyler Hero. Jimmy Butler got banged up on his ankle a round or two ago. And he was still able to perform great. I mean, if you're looking at like a nitpick, it's not really a nitpick. I think the Celtics need to play better, and I think they had the lead going into halftime, and what really did it for them was the third quarter. The Miami Heat had scored 46 third quarter points. That surge coming out of halftime was all they need. It was a key contributor to the win. Tatum did not play great down the stretch, but I expect the Celtics to bounce back. Tatum did play good. He had 30 points, 11 from the free throw line, but you just hope down the stretch he doesn't have those turnovers that could have brought you back into the game and potentially win it all. But that third quarter surge probably would have prevented that too. Another big guy from the Celtics was the sixth man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon. He finished with 19 points, 2 boards, and 1 assist in 37 minutes of action. Me personally, I had the Celtics going all the way and winning the entire thing. I can show y'all my ESPN predictions before the play-in was played. I had predicted the Celtics to win it all. I had them winning it all year. I just think their team is built the best in the league. I think they went to the finals last year. They had that experience. I'm hoping Tatum is able to put the pieces together and eventually, him and Brown lead the squad to a championship. And I'm expecting more from the Celtics, and I'm thinking they're going to bounce back too. As for predictions for, let's talk about predictions for Game 2. Tonight we have the Lakers and the Nuggets Game 2. If the Lakers do what I think they're going to do, and it's, guard the way they guarded Jokic in the fourth, where you have Rui or LeBron on him, preparing for the switches, playing AD in the post defensively, you're going to look at more success from the Lakers. I don't think the Nuggets are going to come out shooting as hot as they did last game. I'm hoping for a Lakers dub. This one goes, they'll split it, and then they'll go to LA for Game 3. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lakers winning this one. I think those adjustments will be made, and I think they'll end up closing it out. But don't sleep on Nikola Jokic. I think he's capable of, averaging what he's been averaging this entire postseason run. I mean, he's been crazy. To get 21 rebounds is pretty insane. I think that's what he had. 21 rebounds. 21 rebounds is nuts, but it's Nikola Jokic, and no one else plays, backup big for them. So that's my prediction for the Lakers-Nuggets game. I got the Lakers taking Game 2. And as far as for the Heat and Celtics, I expect the Celtics to bounce back as well. Don't think the Heat are going to outshoot the Celtics as much as they've done. No way Jason Tatum goes, back-to-back games, poor down the stretch. I know he had a pretty bad last round besides the Game 7 performance where he had like over 51 points or something like that. But I got the Celtics winning that one. So looking at the outcome of both those games, if my predictions end up true, both the series will be tied at 1-1 going into the Lakers-Nuggets going to LA for Game 3. And the Heat and Celtics going back to Miami for Game 3 as well. Other than that, I would love to talk more sports with y'all in the future. We'll be back for episode 2 at the latest on Tuesday, but I'll try to get to y'all before that. I was looking at the schedule and I saw the playoff games. They're happening every day now. And I would hate to, wait till Tuesday and then I'm gonna be talking about games 2 and 3, and then also talk about games 4. That seems like a pretty big gap in time, so I'll probably look to post a video on the weekend or something like that. But I'll keep y'all updated on my personal social medias. And I'll also try to bring a guest on for the next episode. But in the meantime, y'all can follow my social medias. My personal one is at Justin Chute _ on Instagram. And it's also at JustInTimePod on Twitter. I'll link that in the video and put it up on the screen or whatever. It's also the Just in Time podcast on social media. I will have this all uploaded on YouTube and other podcast listening apps. Thanks again to our sponsors of the show, What It Clean Solutions, the mobile auto detailing of lawn carpet, upholstery, tile, and grout cleaning services available. Brennan and Jodeci will get you right. Also, shout out to John's Mounts. John's the man. I'll link both their services and numbers into the description and all that. But in the meantime, man, it's been a blessing. I'm looking forward to doing more episodes like this. They'll be way longer than 16 minutes in the future, but this was just my first episode. We're gonna look to improve as we go on in the future. But in the meantime, this is Justin Chute signing out. Thanks for your time and peace.